The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico de Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and our freedoms. Good morning. I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful morning in downtown St. Petersburg. It's 77 degrees, clear skies, kind of humid and still warm. You know, we had a wonderful day on Saturday where it was so cool, opened up the house.
Yeah.
They said it was going to be that way for 3 days. The next day it was warm again.
Back to humid. Yeah, well, yeah, we don't have it too bad, though. Hey, subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. This is news you can use to stay healthy and get the latest scoop on what people are doing to live a better life.
Yeah, and this is the new one coming out today. I know Tommy's got it, and he's working on it and getting it out. You know, the newsletters have changed a little bit because we're going to a new format, and I'm kind of working around with it. So if you see a couple of glitches here and there, just...
I like it. The pictures are bigger.
The pictures are a little bit nicer. Yeah, I think it's going to be easier to read. And, of course, it's all packed with really good information that we talk about here on the show. And it's important that you follow the newsletter because, of course, we also have our little links in there that you can dig a little bit deeper, but also to some of the products that we would recommend, like the Purium products. Of course, our Primal Edge is in there, and the links are in there.
And there's a coupon in there, guys, to get $50 off your first order using the code HealthMaven at Purium. I shop Purium.com. So subscribe to the newsletter and get some good stuff for you.
It's only $10 a month, $5 for each issue, and you get them on the first and third Tuesday of each month. Of course, we always talk about our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, and this is made primarily to make you healthy on a daily basis, getting all the nutrition that you need and making sure that the nutrition is getting where it's supposed to be, and of course, detoxing the stuff that you don't want in your body.
That's right, because it's made and formulated with nature's miracle molecule, fulvic and humic acid, because that is the miracle molecule that helps get the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out, that's for sure. So today I want to talk about a subject. You know, we've been talking about the paleo diet and the primal
Before
diet.
paleo was cool.
Yeah, it's kind of, I was, 10 years ago, I read this book that my sister gave me, and he was talking about, it was Primal Health, and basically talking about the paleo diet. And that's what started me digging into the eating stuff and all these people who were talking about ancestral, talking about how we ate years ago is so much different, and why processed foods, at least the processed foods that we're making today, are completely different than anything that we ate in our evolutionary history. And there hasn't been a lot of tests being done. Of course, we're doing tests ourselves.
It was more anecdotal, or people saying, hey, I feel great. But now things have changed.
Well, there's an aspect of the paleo diet that is the kind of the elimination diet, too. And they've kind of married these together. And the elimination diet is very important because what you do is eliminate a myriad of foods that may be counterintuitive or counter. They give you bad stuff, in other words.
That's right.
Things that bother you, maybe like beans or potatoes. They have certain things in them that cooking cannot remove. Fermenting can remove some of it, and there's a lot of different things that we found our ancestors did to remove these things, but today we know our manufacturers are not doing that.
Yeah, they're taking shortcuts, and our health has suffered.
And we've lost a lot of the traditions of, and I was mentioning earlier, there's this little Chinese girl that I watch, and I can't even tell you the name of it because it's in Chinese.
Right. She has millions of followers. You shared it with me. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, and it's just a pretty girl in this beautiful area of China. And she just goes out in the garden and in her area, in her little village, and either makes things or cook things or shows you how a meal is done for particular reasons or how to make a broth. No talking at all.
You just watch.
You just watch it, and it's just real surreal. It's beautiful, of course.
Let's put a link to her site in our next newsletter so people can find it. I think that's a great idea.
I'll put one of the videos in there because that type of tradition is what we've lost here. So this is why I was thrilled to see it, and now I'm kind of hooked. I watch one video of hers every single day.
They're very calming. The sound, just to be the observer.
And then to watch her with the different colors and what she does to them, and everything that is plant food seems to be cooked twice. It's first washed, then it's soaked for a while, then it's peeled, then it's cooked, and then at the end it's kind of cooked with the meat later on again. So these are things that our ancestors knew to do that today we've lost because we have advertising telling you what you do instead of your grandmother.
Yeah, someone asked us, what's her name again? We don't know because it's in Chinese. So, so you're going to have to subscribe to the newsletter to get the link. And it's worth it, guys.
I will try to put a link up into the chat room
on the next break. But just so you're not confused, many people are following an autoimmune protocol. It's basically the paleo diet. It's gotten a new name. And these people are witnessing objective measures of health improvement, but now we have a bona fide clinical trial that reveals its efficacy in inflammatory bowel disease, an actual disease state. And these results may be applicable to all autoimmune disorders since these conditions all share common etiological origins. Because really what happens is we have a diminished antigenic burden. And that is kind of the tenet of the time-honored elimination diet. What does that mean, a antigenic burden? It means that the body is not flooded with antigens that it's saying, wait a minute, are you friend or foe? You know? And so when you do an elimination diet, the body's able to say, okay, I'm okay with this one, I'm okay with this.
But when they're done as a group, a lot of times the things get confused, and then the normal response that your body has to that food is kind of diminished, and you don't know what's going on. And the way the gut kind of works, you know, the gut has a lining that's very tight. And it's meant to be that way, but it is also smart in an ability to pass things like water, different liquids, and different nutritions through the wall. And what happens during the time when you have a food that's acting poorly, some of the lectins and some of the anti-nutrients that are in that food are allowed to go through that stomach wall because the body doesn't recognize it as a foe. Am I explaining that right?
Well, really what happens is exactly, it's a protein. And it escapes the tight junction. It's not supposed to escape. And the body goes, wait a minute, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here.
Right.
And it's constantly exhausted with that battle.
Because it's not going through its regular channel of elimination.
It's in a place that it's not supposed to be.
And now the body's confused and attacking it, and then because of your body's now...
I don't like to say the body's confused, no offense, but I learned that from some of my mentors.
Sure.
This thing ain't confused. This body is a work of the Creator. No, in fact, I believe that many times when we have a leaky gut, it's not just the food proteins. They're not supposed to be there. The body's doing what it's supposed to do. Your own body just happens to be collateral damage. It's in the way. And what follows those proteins from the foods are bacteria and viruses that aren't supposed to be there. The body's doing what it's supposed to do. This is a great article, guys. We're going to share it with you. Stick with us. Pick up the Primal Edge in our Health Signals newsletter.
We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And welcome back. So we're talking about this landmark study that suggests that the autoimmune paleo protocol is something that's very healthy for you.
And is definitely proven to be effective.
Yeah, kind of combining two things, the elimination diet and the paleo diet. And it's really the elimination diet has been touted for many, many years to do what it says it does, show you where the problems are. And then if you eliminate that food and maybe even later on reintroduce it, your body kind of gets used to it. It's these foods that your body doesn't get used to, or maybe your family history hasn't used these foods, and now they're being introduced to you, and your body doesn't quite know what to do with them.
Well, I think a lot of the elimination diet allows the body to take a breath and say, wait a minute, okay, let me deal with one of these at a time, and I'll send you some signs, biofeedback, as to what's irritating me.
Right.
But really at the heart of the paleo diet is the nutrient density. We've been telling you guys this for 10 years on the show, right, Nico?
That's right, and that's what this protocol has really found out.
Truly.
It's not so much that we're eliminating certain things and finding, and that's very useful, but the mainstay of the diet says that the success of the paleo diet is because of the nutrient-dense foods that it applies, and actually eliminating foods that are kind of foods that are fill-ins.
Good point. And, you know, Sally Fallon of the Weston A. Price kind of gets a little defensive about paleo. She's kind of like, we were cool before paleo was cool. Traditional diets, people's ancestral diets are truly much healthier. And so, again, like we said, some argue that the therapeutic potential of the autoimmune protocol lies in its exclusion of potentially antigenic foods and its minimization of anti-nutrients, a lot of the lectin foods we've talked about. But as the author previously touched on in a previous article, Lectins and Autoimmune Disease, Separating the Facts from Fiction, and this you can find at Green Med Info, SAYERG, I believe. However, the principal strength of the autoimmune protocol is its inclusion of the most nutrient-dense foods, namely wild-caught seafood, grass-fed meats, and offal, which are organ meats.
Organ meats. And that's the thing we talked about the other day, is that this is the missing food group, and these are probably what our primitive ancestors went for a lot, and in those videos with that little Asian gal.
I truly believe we have to get back to that.
Yeah, you have to get back to, you know, they use the feet, and they use the head of the fish and the feet of the chicken in decorating things, but they also use it to make bone broths and things like that. Very important things that our ancestors did, and this gal is doing, and that's why I thought it was important. I'm still trying to dig it up, and when I find it, I will
but
post
also
it in
part
the
of the
chat
autoimmune protocol diet are the roots and tubers coming into season now, into the winter. You know, your herbs and your spices, we've always said, were for medicine.
Yes.
And fruits and vegetables when they're in season. And the value of eliminating grains and beans, therefore, may actually lie in the fact that they commonly displace these other more nutrient foods.
That's exactly what happened in modern times.
Beans and rice, for example, are, I remember when we first started doing the show together, you explained it was a starvation food.
It was a starvation food, and a pretty good one, because the combination of the beans and rice gives you a full protein. You know, one
cited
alone.
by a lot of vegans that they're getting their but what they're also getting at the same time is a absorption of nutrients because of the lectins and so forth, and particularly if they're not prepared right.
Yes, so these are what we call anti-nutrients, things that irritate you, and things that our ancestors seem to know how to get rid of. That today, because it's manufactured differently, or because we just don't have time. It's not because we're lazy, we work our butts off all day. It's because we don't have the time, because we're working too much. We don't have the leisure time that this little Chinese girl has of strolling through our garden, picking up things, making things, and I don't see her going to work. I see her doing these things.
Right.
And this is what our ancestors did. We didn't go to work.
And maybe that is her work. She prepares the food and nurtures the family.
I think this is what all our work used to be. It used to be getting food and adding to our shelter and making love. I mean, this is the perfect dream.
Until we became slaves, but it looks like we've repeatedly had this same situation. Let's get back to this.
Okay.
Healing and sealing the gut barrier.
Okay.
Okay, so we've talked about how powerful this type of food eating is for healing our gut. And our gut lining is only one cell thick, folks.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The endothelial lining is one single cell thick.
And it's tightly regulated by information and changes and really tight junctions.
You need to have tight junctions so nothing gets out.
Right.
But when they're open, that's where you get the term leaky gut.
Yeah, so when they're tight and everything, it's kind of being supervised. There's a supervisor there kind of overlooking things, and he knows what is going to be let through. And
these tight junctions supervise the paracellular trafficking of molecules from the intestinal lumen to the submucosal into the systemic circulation.
Well
I know Sayo wrote that article.
Well done, well done.
Pretty good even with my stitches in my tongue.
Yeah, you're getting better at that, I noticed.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to dissolve because it's quite, it's frustrating, but, we know where we're going with it. Which, by the way, I think I'm going to have someone who's been through this. I'm going to try and have him on the show.
Oh, good. That would be helpful, too.
Okay.
Oh, so in autoimmune disease, various environmental insults caused these tight junctures to become kind of permeable, enabling the undigestible food to kind of...
And the bacteria and viruses that are in the food. I mean, let me tell you, probably... people talk about getting parasites. Where do you think your biggest threat? Most people think it's animal food. It's actually vegetables and fruits and vegetables because of the handling of them.
Yeah.
And I
remember now we're shipping them cross country, so what might not be a really bad parasite in your area might be a really bad parasite in somebody else's area because they're not used to the parasite because it comes from a different part of the country. We get used to the soil here because if we're in the dirt and we're digging around and we're farmers and we're gathering things, we eat a lot of this dirt, so we're used to what's here, but not used to what's over there.
And I want to talk about that because we all know, I don't know if you guys know, but I am going to be spending the month of November in Thailand with my daughter. So,
cool.
Getting ready for that, getting prepared.
You should get a hold of David Devine.
Oh, I know. I'm sure. I would love to see him. Yeah, exactly. But let's go on with this article, and maybe we can talk about that on the last segment if we have time today. I want to talk about some ideas.
Okay.
So let me share something with you that liver, other organ meats, fatty fish, and shellfish are regarded as nutrient powerhouses on the autoimmune protocol and are particularly essential as they provide nutrients such as vitamins A and D. Folks, this is Sally Fallon of the Weston A. Price Foundation talking. I mean, coming right back at it. She deserves kudos.
This is something that even my parents knew, because starting in the fall in Canada, the cod liver oil would automatically come out. So there you have your vitamin A, a little boost to the D.
And this supports the regeneration of that thin little gut lining that is compromised in autoimmune disease. It is the fat-soluble nutrient. So this is what I want to say. There's a big push to say that the superfoods are all fruits and vegetables. No doubt. There's great nutrition in fruits and vegetables. But the superfood powerhouses are the fat-soluble nutrients usually found in animal foods and organ meats. I'm going to say it.
Well, also, you have to eat a lot more plant food to get the same nutrients to be accepted by your body. In other words, what you eat and look under the microscope is two different things as far as plant food is concerned, because our body's not set up for as much plant food. It discards a lot of it.
We'll be right back. We can continue to talk to you about the power and the efficacy of the paleo diet autoimmune protocol in healing you and keeping you healthy.
Stick around, folks.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. So I found her. Now, she doesn't have a name on her. It's these three little letters in Chinese. That is her handle. But this is one of the videos from it. And it's just
Let's take
gorgeous.
a look. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, let me get it full screen here. So she's just going through a garden and just getting different things. I'll kind of move it ahead a little bit. So then she washes it. You can see it's a nice area. There's
Oh, look, she's giving the husk to the little goats.
Yeah.
Waste not, want not.
Right.
Oh, look at the way she's taking the corn off the cob.
Yeah, and they grind
And pressing
a lot.
the corn.
Yeah, pressing the corn, and then they'll probably soak it for a while, and then she'll cook it again. So since they use corn, they're preparing it the right way by mashing it all up, not eating corn on the cob, and usually using it as a dip or a foundation for the meats later on and things like that.
That looks like, is that salt or roe of some type?
Who knows? It could be either one. But anyway, just wanted
now
to
look
get
at that, using the husk to spread the oil on the cooking plate. And now she's going to make like
little dumplings,
probably some tortilla type of thing, or Chinese, or dumpling it looks like. Yeah. Oh, I could watch this all day. I'm so glad you sent me the link. I'm going to go subscribe.
Yeah, and I'll put the link in the next newsletter, and I'll get it over to you guys too in the chat room. So
yeah, very nice, very nice. Okay, let's get back to our discussion of how the paleo diet, the autoimmune protocol, has proven to be helpful. And really, as I wanted to finish up this comment that really at the heart of these animal-based foods are the vitamins A and D.
Right.
And these fat-soluble vitamins are quintessential for maintenance of mucosal integrity, and the violation of which is the precursor to every autoimmune disease in which has been studied, including multiple sclerosis, celiac,
just Crohn's disease, other types of arthritis,
type 1 diabetes, and all kinds of allergies such as asthma, etc. And so vitamin A prevents inappropriate activation of T cells in the immune system, known as the gut-associated lymphatic tissue, or GALT. We've talked about GALT before.
Yeah.
And the Peyer's patches encircling the digestive tract, therefore reducing the risk of chronic gut inflammation. So it's really about getting those nutrients stored up, the vitamins A and D.
Yeah, and then the A and D are protective nutrients. They protect against infections, help engender healthy gut flora. Contrary to popular belief, over half the people do not convert any beta-carotene from orange and leafy green vegetables into active vitamin A at all.
Absolutely. I've had quite a few vegan clients come in with orange palms, and they're so proud of they're eating all their kale and their carrots, and they say, oh, I get plenty of vitamin A. No, you don't.
Right.
You're not converting.
That's right.
Exactly.
And
it's not the same. Beta-carotene is not the same as retinol. Retinol is different. And
all
we
these
need
things that convert over differently, and the reason this little girl is doing all these things to these vegetables and these grains is because she knows she's making those digestive steps ahead of time in her cooking. So when they do eat it, it's all ready to go.
You know, we had some Tibetan practitioners, health practitioners, Tibetan doctors here in Florida. And I went and saw one, and it was very interesting because she wanted a sample of your urine, and she went and held it in the sunlight. And part of her prescription with almost everyone is you need to eat more cooked vegetables. And I think in America, many of us believe that we have to eat all raw. You know, there's this idea that raw vegan is super healthy, and guys, it's not always. I'm not saying. I like some of my raw vegetables. It may be
more healthy than what you replaced it with.
If you're eating boxed and bagged stuff, but in reality, we do not have those enzymes always to
especially
break down
ones
the cellulose.
that if you're from Europe and you start eating the nightshades like the tomatoes and potatoes and strawberries and things like that we never had in Europe for its existence, then you're introducing something completely foreign and your body's not used to it, and no wonder you have allergies. And they may be subtle that you don't know they're allergies. You may be getting a cold. You may have a headache. You may attribute to completely something else. And until you do the elimination diet, you're not going to find out.
Well, again, like my Qigong teacher, Jeff Primack, I mean, a lot of his healing was based on high phytochemical smoothies, a lot of raw food in a smoothie. But again, what was he doing with the smoothie? Pulverizing it, making it digestible.
And
but he teaches us now that the most healing food in the plant world is what? What do you think? It's the red pepper. And it's a nitrate.
She uses the red peppers a lot.
But
yes.
the red pepper, but it has to be cooked for hours.
Right, and that's what
hours,
she does. Yeah,
and
so.
it just it
They
becomes,
make a paste out of it and things like that.
We
too.
make a paste with that, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I had something I was going to say, and it kind of left me. So it is interesting. It's you know, we've had things that happen to us, and we really don't know what's happening to us because of the food. It's a slow death for many people that reach their 60s, have been eating the American diet, eating some fast food, and now all of a sudden all these things try to catch up with you because these are slow killers. You know, if you don't have a certain vitamin, yeah, you get a little reaction, your dry skin or whatever the reaction is, but then you pile on it another one and then another one, and as you age, it slowly degrades you, and you're in poor shape in your 50s and 60s, and then things become really bad because then you're into the healthcare system of the United States.
And then it's really scary.
Yeah.
So in addition to including the vitamins A and D as kind of being like the hallmark of the healing protocols of the autoimmune, also it's about balancing the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. And
that's really
again from the same wild-caught fatty fish.
Yeah, and that's really what's out of whack in our meats and our the stuff that we eat. Once we start changing these things and making them into other things, then the power that's in these things becomes less and less. And this is why we eat the whole fish and we eat the whole animal, because these nutrients are dense. But when you start chopping them up and start processing them into cans and things like that, they lose a lot of things.
Well, another thing, a lot of people that are afraid to eat animal foods and are therefore really struggling to get the omega-3s.
Yeah.
I do have a algae-based omega, you know, the Premier DHA,
Yes. Yeah.
DHA that I like for people who really struggle. But I really like it if you get it from the animal. And
I think both are useful, for sure.
yeah, and one of the things that I see is, you know, we talk about the imbalance of omega-3 and 6s, and a lot of people that don't eat animal foods overeat nuts. And what happens then is two problems.
Yeah.
They get high omega-6,
Right.
almost as bad
And
as
9.
And 9, but they also
Get all those
get a lot of PUFA.
lectins and PUFAs.
The PUFA, which is the polyunsaturated fatty acids, and the PUFAs become rancid, and they have, you know, damage and free radical damage that way.
The omega-3s even in there need an extra step to become useful to the body. So very little of it is actually processed into something that we can use.
Someone sent us a picture. Says this corn is the largest in the world and it's organically grown. Maybe this is from Ruby. Let's see if we can open it. Nope. Next one. Next picture. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. There you guys go. Look at that. That is some big corn. And it's organic. That's good to know.
Yeah, mash it up before you eat it.
We'll be right back. We got to take a break.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And thanks, Ruby, for sharing that picture of the corn. And Ruby mentions that there's a volcano nearby. Well, volcanic ash is highly mineralized, very much like what we have in the full. That's why the Primal Edge, it comes from ancient soil beds, and that kind of a thing. But let's get back to what we were discussing when I mentioned that we can get out of balance with the omega-3s and 6. Too many omega-6, whether we're eating processed, sad, standard American diet food, or we're trying to be healthy and we're eating too many nuts, we can create free radicals. And this free radicals create oxidative stress. And we need to have more antioxidants which neutralize the oxidative stress, and generation of reactive oxygen species or free radicals such as superoxide and hydrogen peroxide is a normal byproduct of our metabolism. We create them anyways, just breathing. Just moving and exercising. But this can damage our cellular machinery when there's an excessive and impair the production of cellular energy. It affects our mitochondrial energy, and it becomes a vicious cycle of trying to find a balance between them. So why do we eat herbs and fruits and vegetables? Because these array of colorful plant foods are tantamount to increasing our antioxidant intake.
Yeah, they're loaded. Those dark colors, the red ones, like in the pepper.
The power is in the pigment, we say.
The power is in the pigment, indeed. And there's these deeply pigmented fruits and vegetables, are which are staples on the autoimmune protocol, include things like
stilbenoids, lignans, tannins, carotenoids, phenolic acids, and flavonoids. I mean, I loved, the food healing stuff I've learned from Jeff Primack. I always wanted you to go with me. We're going to do it one year because you're going to love it. You're going to love that class. Everybody loves it. In fact, we're going to get together and make pepper paste. Stephen, I took Stephen went with us to the Qigong. My sister, Jen and Jason, and we'll get together because it's a lot of fun to make the pepper paste.
So all these things that I can't pronounce are rich fat-soluble antioxidants. Some of these things are very flavorful, so they add a lot of flavor to food. And when I watch that girl there, I'm noticing that she's really pairing a lot of these things like the the things you mentioned, like the peppers and things like that, with the meats. And I'm, my cooking has been pretty bland, and now I'm getting a little hair up my butt to try to do some things like this. I don't have that wonderful garden she does, but I can go to my farmer's market and find some of these things.
Something that's
and try to get some of these things and make the meals a little bit more exciting, I think.
And did you notice what they said? The autoimmune diet is rich in fat-soluble antioxidants. We talked about fat-soluble vitamins, and the antioxidants are the real powerhouses. What is that? Tocopherol. Tocopherol is vitamin E.
And remember, fat is what we vilified. These fat-soluble vitamins we always want.
If you'd think it was on purpose or something.
Well,
wink,
it
wink.
may or may not be. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that we're not getting these things, and we can get them. They're so easy to get.
We just have to get those fat-soluble foods where they exist.
Just stop listening to the news, and we'll be okay. Because this is where those commercials are that are telling to eat all this crap.
Or the commercial
that
the only solution is found in a drug. Do you have this? Well, no. If you have this, go towards your real food. Get out in the environment. Get out in nature.
Yeah. So many of the fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices included in the autoimmune protocol upregulate phase 2 detoxification enzymes. So there's a phase 1 and phase 2. And phase 2 enzymes are able to convert things into their water-soluble
exactly, so it can get out
so
into the cellular matrix.
Exactly. Right. And this is important to correct the bottleneck that often occurs in the anti-immune, phase.
Phase 1 to 2, and it creates, because we create a lot of toxins in phase 1 metabolites, and it can be an overburden to the liver. It's important to have phase 2 detoxification support. There are many herbs and spices that do this, Nico.
Right.
And one of my favorites is ginger.
Yeah.
And did you notice ginger is served with a lot of Chinese food?
Yeah, in fact, one of the things I watched yesterday, she was digging up the ginger roots and ginseng.
And the turmeric from the Indian dishes.
Yeah. It seems each culture had their favorite thing that was anti-nutrient.
Cinnamaldehyde from cinnamon.
Get rid of those anti-nutrients. Cinnamon,
I sprinkle cinnamon on my coffee every morning.
Really?
So,
that's nice.
Right now I have one that's pumpkin spice, which has allspice and cinnamon, because it's that season. Resveratrol from grapes and blueberries and cranberries, and quercetin are in apples and onions. Remember when we did that study on how the people from Valdosta, Georgia, have one of the lowest cancer rates in the world?
I vaguely remember something like that, yeah.
Because they ate the onion.
The onion.
Yeah, they ate the Vidalia onion. And countries there's countless other ways to significantly upregulate the expression of phase 2 enzymes, which help us get rid of the toxins produced.
Yeah, there's says here farther down, liberal use of the prebiotics such as asparagus, garlic, onion, artichoke, chicory root, green bananas, plantain, beetroot, asparagus, leeks. So there's burdock. I've used a lot of these things, and these are all different kinds of roots and fruits that really are packed full of these things that get rid of the antioxidants.
So we talked about how those different spices would really help for the phase 1 to phase 2, but we also want to know that the sulfur in a lot of vegetables help us with the phase 2.
Right.
And that's why broccoli and asparagus and Brussels sprouts and Chinese cabbages and cauliflowers, collard greens, radish are all very important in helping us with a certain chemical called indo-3-carbinol, I3C. The biological effects are attributed to helping us with the estrogen dominance that we're all suffering due to the plastic infiltration of our world today.
Yeah. There's also what we call lacto-fermented foods, including in the autoimmune protocol, such as the fermented things like coconut, kefir, sauerkraut, just pickled things. When we pickle things.
I have a new craving.
What's that?
Pomegranate kombucha. So you know how I love pomegranate. And I've shared that one of my healing protocols is for people to take pomegranate if they're in season, or even a concentrate a shot of it, because there's research. I found it on Green Med Info that shows it helps break up carotid artery plaque.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of products about 10 or 20 years ago that were using pomegranate as their base. I can't even remember the name of them, but there were a lot of them. They were in wine bottles, very expensive.
But this is like a kombucha that's pomegranate. So I'm thinking, okay, I love my pomegranate. It's fermented, so it's broken down. This should be even more powerful. I pour it in a wine glass, and there you go.
Yeah. Another thing is the paleo template has been proven to be superior to the lower fat, higher carb American Diabetes Association diet in correcting those types of, getting your glucose under control. So the paleo diet and the autoimmune diet together,
they improve your cardiometabolic parameters in general.
Yeah, and it's a nice way to go into changing the way you eat, because you're really able to see what affects you and what doesn't affect you. So I think when this is brought more to the forefront, I think you'll see this is a good way to enter primal paleo type of eating.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Stick around, folks. We got another section, so we'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN has put together the best lineup of live content for traders by traders every market day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected minds in the business. TFNN broadcasts 5 days a week, live from 8:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Every morning at 8:30 a.m., Jason Paff starts things off with his program, The Morning Market Kickoff. At 9 a.m., Larry Pezzamento breaks down the market for the opening bell with Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Nadex Options Hour, followed at 11 a.m. by the team at TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim with Fast Market. Basil Chapman hosts the Tiger Technicians Hour at noon, Steve Rhodes at 1 p.m. with the Trader's Edge, Dave White at 2 p.m. with the Power Trading Hour, and Tom O'Brien anchors the daily lineup from 3 till 5 as host of the Tom O'Brien Show. Tune in to TFNN's Tiger TV on your computer or mobile device, and you can always find us streaming on YouTube. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back. Now, there's many protective lifestyle elements embedded in this autoimmune protocol, such as the mobilization of social support, stress management, disease-appropriate exercise, restorative. So these are all the things that we always talk about. It's not just one thing.
It's a quantum effect. When you change your life and get more in touch with the natural way, you're going to see the benefits.
Yeah, imagine living in a world where this girl is, where she has this little village. You know, this is kind of like a dream of mine, where you have 150 of people that you know really well. You're living in there, and you're surrounded by this lush area where you can find your food with no problem. And that's all what life should be about. This is what kind of the Bible says. Everything is here already. You don't have to do anything. Just enjoy it. And this is what we've messed up. We've gotten this little tribe into these many different tribes that are hierarchy, and now we have a tribe in control of the world that is a bunch of powerful people that have much more than everybody else.
Right.
This is not how we are supposed to live. We're supposed to live in the small communities, people that you can count on, because the other tribes, you have no connection with them. And it's much better going from the bottom up, and maybe having the leaders of the tribe to talk to each other and come up with a consensus. But in a small tribe of 30 to 150 people, everybody's important, every vote counts, and everybody knows what you're voting and knows what you're doing. And if you're doing something detrimental to the tribe itself, everybody sees that, and you cannot live with that. There's too much pressure of that. So this is the way human beings always did. Other animals have it a little bit different, but they have the same idea. They have a flock, or they have a group, a pack. These are natural things. If you have a dog, he's not in a pack, but if you put him out in the woods with other dogs, they'll form a pack, and that's what human beings do. So this is the whole concept of the paleo and primal movement, is not just the food, but we have here a nice application, which now we kind of proves that we're on the right track. It is working. Of course, we can see it in ourselves, and that's probably the most beautiful part of it all.
I agree with you. I think that's really true.
And that's our show, folks. So thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a great day.
Jason Path has just launched his weekly newsletter, The Quantitative Edge, available only at TFNN.com. Right now, you can sign up for Jason's outstanding weekly report, including midweek updates whenever warranted, with a 30-day money-back guarantee included, so you have nothing to risk. Jason develops his trade recommendations by creating an ensemble of predictive and mathematical models trained on data by leveraging a variety of techniques, including market-based computer simulations. Jason then combines these sophisticated predictive and analytical models with deeply researched macro outlooks to identify opportunities in a number of different markets for traders to act on. Whether you're looking to trade futures, equities, commodities like crude oil and gold, forex, or cryptos, Jason covers it all. Sign up for Jason Path's weekly trading newsletter right now by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and you'll find the Quantitative Edge under the Newsletters tab. TFNN.com, educating investors.